Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dinda Sudarpi. I'm a 5th semester student majoring in management in international class of Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Tanjungpura. In this video, I will be answering questions for my final exam of Organizational Behavior lecture that has been given to the class through Edmodo applications by our lecturer Sir Adi. Next, we will continue to the second part, which is part B, questions regarding the theories of organizational behavior. The first question is, would you rather work in an organization with a theory X, theory Y, or theory Z style of leadership? And give reasons for your preference. In my opinion, I prefer to work in an organization or in a workplace with the theory Y leadership style because leaders who are categorized in the theory Y tend to view their employees optimistically and in a positive way. They see employees in a positive light as a talent that needs to grow together with them and to grow together in an organization. This affects the way they leadership so that it is not centered on one figure or one aspect. So it is all about growing in all aspects together. Leader with category Y will be motivated to work together, participative, and have trust in their employees and their team because they see themselves as part of their team and that they are among the team to achieve the goals, and instead of not being a boss in which the team has to follow wherever they go. Employees in organization Y category usually have more responsibilities because they feel more motivated and more into their roles and jobs. Leaders will motivate their employees to develop their abilities because they see their employees as a talent, and praise and appreciation is also given continuously as a way to bond together. But this is not intended as a way to control staff or as a way stimulus in a negative way, but rather to open communication space for a better way. The second question is, what are some of the differences between the classic bureaucratic model as outlined by Max Weber and the other more alternative models? Max Weber's bureaucratic theories stated that the social aspects of the bureaucrats must be followed by clear legal legitimacy so as to lead to good compliance. Meanwhile, Osborne and Gabler entrepreneurial bureaucratic theories stated that in government, bureaucrats have to innovate themselves through their various creativities and ways. The meaning of entrepreneurship is independence without waiting for orders or regulation, meaning that they have more innovative and initiative to create innovations. The bureaucracy is described as a system that continues to advance and innovate through its 10 concepts. The third question is, describe 3 theories of leadership and provide examples for each. The first theory is the great man theories. Great leaders are simply born with the necessary internal characteristics such as charisma, confidence, intelligence, and social skills that make them natural-born leaders. Great man theories assume that the capacity for leadership is inherent, that great leaders are born, not made. These theories often portray great leaders as heroic, mythic, someone to look up to, and destined to rise to leadership when needed. The term great man was used because at that time, or currently, leadership was thought of primarily as a male quality, especially in terms of military leadership. Such theories suggest that people cannot really learn how to become strong leader. It is something that you inherited when you are born. The second theory is trait theories. The theory assumed that people inherit certain qualities and traits that make them better suited to leadership. These theories often identify a particular personality or behavior characteristic shared by leaders. An example, traits like extroversion, self-confidence, and courageous are all traits combined that could potentially be linked to a great leader. If particular traits became a key features of leadership, then we explain the people about possess the qualities, and it become one of the questions that is very very difficult in using traits theory to explain leadership. And the last theory is contingency theories. Contingency theories of leadership focus on particular variables related to the environment that might determine which particular style of leadership is best suited to the situations. According to this theory, no leadership is best in all situations. Leadership researchers suggest that truly effective leadership is not just about the qualities of leader. It is about striking and striving the right balance between behaviors, needs, and current context. Good leaders are able to assess the needs of their followers, take assessment to the situation, and then adjust their behaviors accordingly. Success depends on a number of variables, including the leadership styles, qualities of the followers, and aspects of the situation. In contingency theories, the example would be to the current leaders of the leaders of current organizations during rapid changes and during uncertainties. Fourth question is describe various models of organizational leadership such as trait, positional, and situational theory. Trait theory attempts to identify specific characteristics, physical, mental, and personality, associated with successful leadership. This theory emphasizes the personal attributes of leaders, and the theory states that managerial success is caused by having the extraordinary abilities of a leader. The second theory is a situation theory. A situation theory is an attachment to leadership which states that the leader understands his behaviors, the characteristics of his subordinates, and the situations before using a certain leadership style. This attachment requires the leaders to have diagnostic skills in human behavior. The last theory is position theory, a method of analysis developed in psychology that examines discourse, usually oral interaction, to find ways of understanding how identities are produced and performed to that interactions. It seeks to understand the roles of interactants attributes to themselves and others and how they react to the roles they are put in. The fifth question is, how does the organization culture influence the employee performance? Explain your answer, and it must be supported with a journal related to the question given. Say the author, the problem statement, the research method, and the finding of the research. The journal is based on the Journal of the Influence of Organizational Culture on Employees' Performance, Evidence from Oman, written by Muhammad Faisal Moh Isa and Solomon Azimoya Ugioke, with the following problem formulation in the form of hypothesis. This study presupposes that supportive, bureaucratic, and innovative culture may enhance employees' performance. The author therefore hypothesized that H1A, supportive culture, has a positive influence on employee performances. H1B, bureaucratic culture, has a positive influence on employee performance. And the last hypothesis, H1C, innovative culture, has a positive influence on employee performance. To be able to obtain optimal research results and scientifically accountable, and also to achieve this objective, a survey was sent to employees of the identified organizations. And after the pilot testing, surveys were administered to employees identified in the sample organizations, followed by the remainder letters. And the result is, the study found that a supportive culture has a significant positive influence on the employee performance. Thus, through a supportive culture, organizations create a workplace that encourages employees' loyalty and commitment to the organizations. Besides, when employees perceive that an organization has a culture that is supportive, they will be more willing and committed to help the organization achieve its goals. Second, the study also found that bureaucratic culture has a significant positive influence on employees' performance. Thus, a high level of formality promotes work independence among the employees with little interference. It decreases the risk in tasks where the managers or employees intervenes in the task of others. These types of environment promotes individual values and the task they perform. Finally, contrary to expectations, the result shows that an innovative culture does not have a positive effect on employees' performance in the context of the public sector. Public organizations have numerous layers of management. Because of the many layers of management in decision making, authority has to pass through a higher number of layers. Due to the separations of power, public organizations are very sensitive to making changes. This compels them to uphold a tight procedures and causes them to be reluctant to adjusting to changes due to innovations. The sixth question is it's regarding stress management. Stress management is a wide spectrum of techniques and psychotherapies aimed to control a person's level of stress, especially a chronic stress, usually for the purpose of and for the motive of improving everyday functioning and activities. Stress management is very important, especially for students, because students have shown that a healthy amount of manageable stress can lead to an increased brain productivity function, a boosted immune system, and a better preparations for future stressful situations, which can positively affect emotional health with your work and home life. For me, how do I manage my stress is very, very simple. I first focus on the problem about what causes my stress and then what is the effect of the stress. For an example, if the stress comes from schools and what are the results, then I work on that. And I think that's really, really important so that I can really, really understand about how I feel and what causes what I feel. Question number 7 is regarding the differences between good stress and bad stress. Good stress is a situation that makes you feel good and is not considered as a threat to your health. It is somewhat that you enjoy, like in a love-hate relationship, like in a love-hate feeling. On the other hand, bad stress is something that can make you feel angry, anxious, tense, confused, and guilty, or even overwhelmed. Question number 8 is about change, whether it is important and how do I lead change. For me, I think change is very, very important because if it managed properly, change can lead to a better place. It can help me improve the things that I am not currently able to do to make that I am able to do it. It ensures that every small change that occurs is very, very positive if managed very, very proper, and it continues to develop me as a person towards a better change. And the way I lead change is, of course, I need to know where am I going, how am I going to go there, through what purpose, and through what media that I will go to that change, and what pushes me to that change because of what. So that when I'm about to go for a change, it will be managed properly. And the last questions of part B is regarding these chapters that have been given by the lecturers and how do I find the book of OB and how does it contribute to my study performances and which chapters is the most interesting. And I found the book very, very interesting, of course, because this is the first time I study that is really, really close to psychology, because previously I wanted to study psychology, but I didn't pass. So I study management instead, and it's really, really interesting to learn a subject that is close to psychology. And it really, really contributes to my study performance because I take HRM concentrations so that I really have to understand how people in an organization behave, how the organization itself behave, and how can that point of view, that information that I have can help me to make decisions later on when I become a manager of HR. And one of the most interesting chapter will be my chapter that I presented coincidentally regarding emotion and moods, because personally my MBTI is INTP, introverted, intuitive, thinking and perceiving. I am the type of person that is really hard to understand people's emotions and moods, so that through these chapters I not only help others in my class to understand regarding emotions and moods, but I also can help myself to understand more regarding emotions and moods, and what theories that goes to emotions and moods, and how can I understand it more. And it just gives me a broader and wider aspects of organizational behavior through the emotions and moods perspective.